Good day to you friends and followers, my name is Ardric and welcome back to Dark Souls 3. Now, this episode's not going to be action-packed and filled with all kinds of craziness. We're actually going to be picking up some NPCs, finishing out some storylines, and starting some storylines. Not really finishing anything out really, we'll just be starting storylines. And we're going to be killing, finally, the Cursed Greatwood. Now, for this to start, we're going to be going to the Road of Sacrifices, making our way through that area and taking care of all the things that we need to there. Now, actually, I was talking at one point, which at the beginning, about the covenants and how you would be able to get the items for those covenants. And I didn't really feel it was necessary to bring it up just yet, because the only covenants you really have is the Way of Blue, which will summon in your defender. And you have the Warrior of Sunlight, which is if you defeat a boss, well, you're either summoned or you summon someone else, or if you have, you got one with Malmakers, which is if you invade another person's world and you take them out. But 9 out of 10, there's not a lot of people who really early on are going to be smacking around all that stuff. But if you're on your second playthrough and you haven't really taken the time to start working on your covenants, you're probably thinking, well, it's going to take me forever just to get the items I need in order to level up my covenant and get those covenant items that are required for the platform. So, or if you just want Darkmoon Blade, because everybody just wants Darkmoon Blade. So, the first on that list is going to be the Blue Sentinels, as well as the Darkmoon Blade. So, an interesting thing is, though, is even though the Darkmoon Blade and the Blue Moon, or the Blue Sentinels are the Blue Moon, and the Blue Sentinels are two separate entities, the covenants are one and the same, in that you receive the same rewards, and it's the same person whom you speak to in order to acquire those rewards. So the item that you need is the Proof of Concord Kept, which is required to turn into Yorshka, which you'll meet in Anor Londo. The items, the Proof of Concord can be farmed off of the Silver Knights. So the easiest way I found to actually do that, and the quickest way, is when you get to Anor Londo there, and you get to that bonfire where Yorshka's at, you can, you're already here. You can just go ahead and kill the two Silver Knights that are coming down the stairs. That was easy. And those two Silver Knights will have a pretty decent chance at dropping whatever you're after. Now, I will say before you start farming any of this, be sure to raise your luck. You can farm these after you're done with the initial playthrough, before you start number 2. You can do it, while you're just running through another playthrough, but the Covetous Gold Serpent Ring is a good way to go if you can farm the Symbol of Avarice, which shouldn't be too bad. Just get a bunch of Undead Hunter Charms, and then throw it at the Mimic, get the initial item, punch the Mimic, and then proceed to get your items that way. Then you have the better chance of getting what you're after. And then, of course, rusted coins on top of that. And if you go with something like Anri Short Sword, or Straight Sword, or whatnot, then, of course, that's going to help you. So, you can take a few different routes there to make the items drop. So, at any rate, that being said, that would be the first of the easily farmed ones. I think a lot of people really want Darkmoon Blade and they complain about how hard it can be to get it. But to be honest, I messed around out there in Anor Londo with I think around 200 item discovery, which is not that high. And I got about 9 Proof of Concord Kept. And you only need 30 in order to get Darkmoon Blade. So it's not like you're required to get 50 of them, or you're required to farm for 6 hours straight just trying to get it. Which, I mean, maybe you could because, you know, the time it takes for it to drop, but it's all, you know, kind of luck-based, get that random generator going anyway, but, you know, I don't think you'll have as much trouble with it as people kind of make it out to be. It is hard on your first playthrough because you don't have, generally speaking, that much luck. You don't have as many points to kind of throw around. You know, maybe you're not using this Symbol of Avarice trick in order to get the, or the Undead Hunter trick in order to get the Symbol of Avarice, so, you know, maybe you don't have the souls to buy a bunch of those, or maybe you just miss the ashes to pick them up, or whatever the case may be. So, at any rate, that is the bit of advice I would have there. And so, that one out of the way, which is the most popular one, we'll go on to the Warriors of Sunlight, since that's the next one you pick up. And in order to farm out the Warriors of Sunlight, you can, of course, either summon people in, or the easiest way to do it is to go to Lothric Castle, which is, of course, after the Dancer, and kill the knights there, and raise your luck with that whole thing, and then farm those guys, and they'll drop the Sunlight Talismans, or the Sunlight Medals. Sunlight Medal, not Talisman. Talisman's a charm, or a... Is it? I don't know. Anyway, this is our next set of NPCs here. I actually missed something that I'm going to go back and get in just a moment, because I completely forgot about that. So, bear with me just a moment. We're going to talk to Anri and Horace here. Now, one thing I want to put out is, if you are a male character, of course, it'll be a male or female character under that armor. If you're a female character, it's a male character, and everybody kind of refers to them as Anri. Interestingly enough, when you talk to it as a female character, it sounds like she says Anri, and it kind of gives that connotation of being feminine sounding voice. It's Anri. And if it's a male, it sounds more to me like Henri, which is a French way of saying Henry. So, you know, just an interesting thing is like it's the same name with enough of an inflection or enough of a connotation or whatnot to sound like it's inflection wasn't even the right word, but it's enough to make it sound either masculine or feminine, which is really cool. So we're going to, and then there's Horace. He's just Horace. So here we go.
Oh, hello. How do you do? I am Anri of Astora, unkindled like you. This is Horace, a friend and travelling companion. Are you too in search of the Lords of Cinder? We are well along the road of sacrifices. Below us is the Crucifixion Woods. Beyond the flooded woods lies Farron Keep, home of the undead legion. Further yet is the Cathedral of the Deep. We seek the cathedral, home of the grim Aldrich. We may go our separate ways now, but we are both seekers of lords. The next time we cross paths, one may find the other in a time of need. May the flames guide your way.
Speak again?
Oh yes, Horace. He's not very talkative. But don't think ill of him. He's an upstanding, kind-hearted knight, a fine partner for this grueling journey. Without his help, I would have cursed this onerous duty long ago.
Go speak to Horace. Now, what happens when you talk to him your first time is he'll give you the Blue Sentinel Covenant.
We are well along the road of sacrifice. Beyond the flood, we may go the next time. May the flame...
And then, of course, it starts recycling your dialogue. Now, before I actually travel, because I am going to be traveling here in a moment, we're going to run up here. And let's see if I can remember what I'm doing. Down there. That's where I want to be. Okay, so in the event that you did miss it, which is a very easy thing to do, okay, it is over there. Okay. Isn't it over here? Or am I wrong? Oh, I must be wrong. Okay, then we drop off over here somewhere. Ah, it is the drop off over here. Okay. There are some dogs down here too, so just a heads up on that. Boink. Yep, this is it. Okay. There's 2 dogs. I was really hoping he jumped off the edge. That'd have been great. This dog is slow and like, what the? Get off me. You jerk. Are you serious? Really? Well, the first death was to a dog, so there's that. Jeez. Well, lesson learned there, right? Yeah, we're not gonna go from this bonfire. We're gonna go from the other bonfire. We can't go from the other bonfire. Oh wait, we are at the halfway fortress. Which you'll notice, once you travel or do anything, Horace and Anri will be gone. Or Anri, rather. Alright, let's clear these guys out. My own fault for not staying at full life. Alright, let's try that again. I was gonna say this dog is slow and pregnant, so nothing to worry about. Ooh, I nearly doomed myself. Okay, dogs are dead, back in the cave, and Morn's Ring, which will boost your miracles. And this is the most important thing, which is your Braille Divine Tome of Cream. And this is going to be the second tome we've acquired since the first we got from Yuria. Where does this go? Red Eyes. Oh, okay, just the other side. I was wondering about that, because I was like, yeah, I could just go that way. But we're not going to concern ourselves with anything else here. We're actually going to hop back into the shrine. So there we are. First death, first official death, since I jumped off a bunch of times, killed myself, is going to be to a dog in the Road of Sacrifices. All because I forgot to heal up. Now, the Road of Sacrifices bonfire does change a few things, which is to be noted. First of all, we have spawned her.
You're an unkindled, aren't you? I am Sirris, of the Sunless Realms, former servant of the divinity. Duties we each bear, but one's duty is a solitary affair. I doubt we've much to gain from fraternization. Blessing of the moon upon your journey. I doubt we've much to gain from fraternization. Blessing of the moon upon your journey.
Now, if you have not done Sirris's dialogue for any reason, then you will gain the Dark Moon loyalty gesture.
I doubt we've much to gain. Blessing of the moon upon your journey.
And then she'll begin doing that dialogue as well. So that is what causes her to spawn in. Now, you can choose to just kill her right here and continue on with your journey and not worry about it. But, of course, we're in this to do the quest lines and to show when they will continue on, and so we will not be killing her. Now, actually, I do believe, which I brought this up in the episodes, that Greirat hadn't returned. I actually believe that his return is dependent upon you killing the Great Wood.
Speak thy desire, honourable Lord of Hollows.
See, now she calls you the Lord of Hollows.
That a lord art thou not, bearer of the dark sigil. and our Lord of Hollows, for the time thou remainst our Lord, we of Londor shall serve thee. And I, of course, am also thine. Till we meet again, may the dark sigil guide thee.
Her weird movements. At some point she'll start talking a little more about what you need to do as a lord, and et cetera, et cetera. And some really funny stuff happens once we recruit our friend Orbeck, which will be next episode. Now, we're getting ready to change a lot of things here. We'll notice that Hawkwood is here and Sirris is here, but there's nobody else in this part of the shrine. Leonhard is up there actually, so let's go speak with him. What he will actually do is he's going to tell us about another covenant, which I completely got sidetracked.
You found a proper red-eye. Brilliant. I knew you were no ordinary man. Now invade and pillage all you like. And if you grow weary of your duty, you too may become a finger. Come on, give yourself to Rosaria of the Cathedral of the Deep. Now invade and pillage all you like. And if you grow weary of your duty, you too may become a finger. Come on, give yourself to Rosaria of the Cathedral of the Deep.
I thought that was pretty awesome, actually. And he's just kind of like, yeah, let's go do it. Now, of course, he's not going to be able to give you the covenant or anything like that. He's just going to send you in that direction.
At the foot of Lothric, it was used if you've...
Same dialogue as before, nothing's changed. As I was talking about the covenants as well, so to recap on the last two, the Blue Sentinels and the Darkmoon Blade, one and the same. In Orlando, the Silver Knights go to Lothric Castle, that's where you get your Warrior of Sunlight stuff. Then go to the what is it? The catacombs. You'll go to the catacombs, kill the skeletal swordsmen and stuff there. Those guys are going to drop the shackles, the vertebrae shackles, which is going to be for the mound makers. Then, when you do join Rosaria, you can, well, you don't have to join. The items drop regardless whether or not you join. But the Dark Wraiths, and there's a very excellent spot in which to farm Dark Wraiths near Farron, near the Abyss Watchers, actually, right before them. And then, one of the most popular ones, of course, is the Watchdogs of Farron. And the Big Grue, those guys will drop Swordgrass. I'm not sure if it drops off any of the other stuff around Farron. I haven't tested any of that. I really haven't messed with the Farron one yet, so I don't completely know the good way to farm it yet. The Aldrich Faithful, besides the fact that it's just really cool to go invade people in that area, the Deacons will drop the items there, so you have a pretty easy farming setup if you want to do it for Anor Londo, because you can literally just go at the beginning there and you can kill, oh, it was a message. You can go kill the Silver Knights and then go in the next room with the Deacons before the Aldrich Clawgate, and you can kill the Deacons that are at the beginning of that, and you can get a bit of a good farm run right there and knock out a couple of covenants at a time. So that being said, though, it's those ones, and then that would leave. Oh, I didn't think that. Let's see, actually, I think that's all of them. Isn't it? I think that's all of the covenants. So I think that's that. Alright, going into this fight, there are no summons you can pull into this fight, so unfortunately you don't get any help. Just a show. You can come around here and look. I think they should have given you a summon to mess with, but I think it would just be the fact that the summon wouldn't know what to do. I was thinking maybe if they gave you a caster, it'd be kind of cool. Maybe give you a pyromancer or a sork of some sort. And the interesting thing is they don't really ever give you, I mean, I guess Sirris, but they don't really give you too many people on the lines of miracle people. That, like, I was thinking some kind of healer type. Once you kill that red eyes, this Great Wood will come to life no matter what. You can choose to save the red eye and clear out a few of these people first, which is helpful, but yeah, I didn't do it. Ugh. Also, this character build is designed to buff and to, you know, make good use of the damage and everything. And half the time I don't do it, as you've noticed. I don't really take the time to buff off before fights. I should, but I just don't. I can't get these yet, can I? Look at it. Is there one on your hand? There's one on your hand, isn't there? Can't get to it. Yeah, I just got it. Chop. That didn't technically hurt me. Also notice that on your second playthrough, which I don't have, care to do it, you can just bring your crossbow or whatever, lay into this guy too. I do have one, but not equipped. I don't fuck with it. Here we go. Just gonna top off. Oh, come on. Okay. There we are. Can I hit that one? Apparently not. I do believe they've changed the Great Wood from how it used to be. Like before, that would be enough to kill him. And I think now, it doesn't work quite that way. Aww. Is there any more on his hands and feet that I can hit? Am I gonna have to go full on stuff? I can also hit his hand here, I believe. Ow. Stop that. What? Of course. Of course. Yeah, let's just wail on him as much as possible. There we go. And still not dead. Dead now? Dead now. Cool. Great Wood down. Get the transposing kiln, which note that you do need it if you go through the second time here. And then the Soul of the Great Wood. Now, do note that Hodrick is lying here. I'm assuming potentially crushed, but hello. Potentially crushed by all the stuff that just fell on him. So it looks like he got bashed up by these rocks pretty good, and that was the end of our friend there. So unfortunate end. Now, this appears to be his little shrine to the mound makers. And in turn, this is where you can turn in your vertebrae shackles. So if you choose to do it. And the only way out of here is right here. And now that that's done, we're going to go back to the shrine, and we are going to do some conversations. Or some conversing. Or as people say now, conversating. Alright. Now that we go back to here, we're going to have new dialogue show up. I believe this is going to be the trigger for Greirat. What should happen here is we're going to have Leonhard leave. Right? Oh, no, he's not dead. He's not gone yet. Okay.
You haven't given up yet? Then you're a brasher lad than I thought. You can make better use of this.
Now, once you take out the Great Wood, he's going to give you the heavy gem.
I don't need it. Not now I've flown the coop.
And that is going to, of course, be the infusion that you need for the strength. I couldn't even think of it. I'm like, I know it does something. Now this is when Greirat will return. If you kill the Great Wood before you get to the halfway fortress, he will spawn off that Road of Sacrifices bonfire. So if you kill the Great Wood but you don't have the Road of Sacrifices bonfire yet, he won't return. So the condition is that you have both the Road of Sacrifices bonfire and the Great Wood dead, and that will bring Greirat back.
Oh, hello. You've come at a good time. It took some prowling, but I finally made a score. Go on, have a gander.
This expands his inventory. So now he'll sell more embers, and he's going to sell this Divine Blessing. I think the lightning urns come in on this one. Items here, and then the fire arrows, and I believe the different bolts and things like that. And I'm not sure which armors. I think these are all the beginning armors, all the starter armors. So, and then I think it's this one. I think it's this one that most people use, the target shield. So, there's all the items that he has available. What I love about buying from him is he has firebombs for only 50 souls. I love firebombs. And then we'll go over here. I don't believe the dialogue has changed here.
Speak thy desire, honourable Lord of Hollows. That a lord art bearer for the and I of.
Didn't think so.
Till
Not
we meet
until,
again. May the
not until we get a little further along. Now we're going to sit down. Alright, we're going to need to move into Crucifixion Woods, I believe, before we're going to see him respond. Now, note that Sirris is gone as well. And that she's not going to be popping up for right now. And saying anything else until we move a bit further into the story as well. Mostly once we get around the cathedral area. Actually, no. When we get to the Watchdog, or the Watchdogs of Farron Covenant, that's when she will be changing her dialogue. So we're gonna go ahead actually and move into the next bonfire, since this episode is a bit shorter than what I meant for it to be, and we're just gonna go ahead and knock out this next bonfire. And then the next episode we'll actually do the Crucifixion Woods area here, and move over and take out the Crystal Sage, and grab a few items and things like that, so that we can move on. Now this is the point though in the game where it does split. You can choose different paths that you want to take and how you want to handle them, and in turn it will affect your NPCs, and it can screw up the order of things, and you can get lost in what you're doing, and it's a bit confusing because everything tells you you need to do things a very specific way, and yet if you do them in that very specific way, uh, it can cause you to miss other ways that you actually needed to do things for quests. And so I was a little put off by that at first, but with a little bit of digging, I was able to figure out what exactly I needed to do for my NPCs, and hopefully you guys are going to be able to put that to good use as well. Again, so far everything right now is pretty basic. The only thing that you might need to be able to keep track of is that you just got to have Greirat set up, which requires those two conditions be met. But Greirat will always return as long as you have those two conditions met. The next time you send him out, there will actually be extenuating circumstances as to whether or not he will return. So just bear that in mind. Really? You're gonna stab me with a big stick? That is just completely rude of you. And we will light this here bonfire. We will... I can't light this. Oh! There's a dog. And now there's no... Okay. Item. I don't remember what it is. Suddenly I didn't want anything so bad in my life. It could even be a boat. Ow. Wow. I'm not entirely sure my health is quite that low. Did I just not heal up? That's my biggest downfall. Is thinking that I don't need to heal. Go over here. Get poked some more. Because that's how this is going to work. Ooh. There we are. Alrighty. Well, that being said, and now done, we will head back to the shrine. We'll get ready to wrap this one up. So now we have Anri in our employ, we have Horace in our employ. They're now part of our little entourage. And we have Greirat back, and now Sirris is going to be part of our going-ons, and Yuri is just going to sit there and not really do anything for a while. Cornix isn't really going to do anything until we get Pyromancy Tomes, which here in the Crucifixion Woods in the next episode we are going to be picking up the first tome. We'll also be working on recruiting our friend down there, and now Arena, you can choose to give her the tome if you would like to, and of course which ones you give her are dependent upon what happens with her storyline. And we really want to wait until we have all four, generally speaking, as it's the best way to kind of approach it. But if there's a miracle you just really want out of one of the tomes, then do feel free to go ahead and give her that. Okay guys, that being said, as you can see, the shrine is not changed since the last time we were here. It's no new people have shown up and no new quest lines to be had here. So we'll be approaching Crucifixion Woods. We're going to knock out that area, as well as picking up a couple of items, or at least one item, at the very beginning of Farron Keep below the Crucifixion Woods. We're not going to tackle that area in that episode, and we'll be doing that after the fact. So thanks guys for checking out this episode. Hopefully you found it a bit useful. Maybe you'll be able to tell a little more about which order you need to do things in. Also do note, if you do not kill the Great Wood until later in the game, since he is technically an optional boss, and you go into Crucifixion Woods and you progress your storyline, once you get to the cathedral and you begin doing cathedral stuff, or when you kill the Abyss Watchers, then you can actually throw Greirat's questline way off. And until you kill the Great Wood, then I don't believe Greirat's going to show back up. So you can actually miss his second questline set because you can still send him out, but he's not going to ever come back, which means that you'll never get him for that third part of his questline. So just something to keep in mind. I don't really imagine too many people skipped the Great Wood since he's not particularly a difficult boss, just a bit of a tactical boss in the respect that you have to actually tackle those little pus sacks all over his tree, which sap sacks. We could just call them sap sacks, I guess. You have to attack those and then deal with them that way. But all in all, again, not too much happening here, so I apologize for the lack of excitement, except for the first death and nearly a second death toward the end there. But put that dog in the ground at the end, which was just great. So, alright guys, thanks for checking it out, and I hope it does help. If you want to help me in return, please hit that like button, and I definitely appreciate that. So thank you guys for checking it out, and I'll see you guys in the next part. Bye-bye.